Good evening, my love, my divine feminine, my bold Queen of Wands and tender Queen of Cups and hardworking Queen of Pentacles, super, super smart Queen of Swords. You are all of them, aren't you? You really do equal the Empress, my Empress. You know, there's a part of my mind as I stare at the wall, sometimes the stars outside, sometimes just looking at my phone trying to pretend that I'm not thinking about you, when really I'm trying to figure it out. How do you do it? How are you everything right for me? Though you know what's funny, feminine? It's like I feel like I can feel the difference between, like, I want to call it older versions of myself that would like drop and get down into the shadows about it, like that it must be some trick, that it must be a ruse or like a really, really good act because nobody could be so right for me, especially not me. But you know what? I think I finally realized that it wasn't something within you or anything that you were doing that made it feel like a trick. It wasn't a trick on your part. And I think what clicked within me is realizing that it was a trick on my part. Like really looking at that and owning that like I don't know, there's just something about being around you. Like I don't fully have words for it. It's like when I'm around you, I want to show off, you know? When I'm around you, I want to be like the best version of myself. When I'm around you, like I feel like I simultaneously want to tell you about everything going wrong in my life that I need help with, and then also I don't want you to know that I struggle at all because I want to feel like I'm as high caliber as you are. And that, I don't know, feminine, I guess you have a way of making it feel like all the things that burden everyone else in the world are just like completely irrelevant for you, no matter where you are, or who you're with, or what you're doing. Somehow you just have this energy, like no matter what you do, you're kind of carefree in a way. I don't know, because you're also one of the kindest, most caring people I've ever met, and so it's strange to me that both can be true. But I suppose a wise person did tell me that once. Both can be true. And I suppose that's where it sits, isn't it? That it felt like you were tricking me because I was tricking myself. I was telling myself that all that love and all those good feelings in there, they couldn't exist for me because I'd never experienced those feelings with anyone else in my life. But you know, there was just something about the other day. Several things happened. First, I feel like I heard you singing in my head. And like no matter what I tried, even when I tried to change the song in my head or put a new song on the radio or on my Pandora, my Spotify, like then I just heard that song in your voice. And honestly, it creeped me out a bit. Then I saw you around other masculines. And it's funny, as I watched you interact, I could see the way that you held yourself. You were, I don't know what the word is. It's like available and unavailable at the same time, and I could tell it was an easy place for you to be. Like, it's like, I guess the best way I could think to put it is that I could tell the difference between you and everyone else in the room because I could feel the energy of standards, of boundaries. Like, you were completely social, personable, charming. I watched other people flirt with you, and it struck my heart in a way that I just wasn't prepared for. And yet, I didn't see you accept any of it. Like, but it wasn't like before where you used to shy away because, I don't know, because I know you had self-esteem stuff too, like I did. Like I do. I saw instead that it's like, I don't know, I feel like watching you, like, I feel like part of me was watching those other masculines and, like, going, if only they knew, if only they knew that it just takes a little effort with my divine feminine. It's not a lot. She's quite easy in many ways, but she does have standards. She doesn't give away the cow nor the milk. You've got to earn it. And isn't that a beautiful thing? And then, of course, my mind got wrapped up in thinking about how long it must have been. And then I started thinking about if you had moments where you did connect with other masculines, and then I had to change my thoughts because I could feel, I don't know what to describe it as. It didn't feel good. And ever since then, I feel like I'm being, like, you know, what is it, the ghost of Christmas future sort of thing. But it's like, turn that into a poltergeist who just bugs you all day long, but from inside, to where all I can think about, it's like the only choices I get are to hear you sing or to think about you. I don't know, like, not even necessarily calling in energy from others. It's like they just flow to you, like you just become the center of gravity in any space that you're in, and people just love to be near you, to talk with you, to know you, to cheer you on. And like, it's like even if you're not hosting a party, you're still kind of the host, and people just recognize it. And then I feel myself, like, I can feel it too. I can feel it too. But I feel like it's so much stronger and so much harder for me than any of them. They don't know you the ways that I do. They don't know what I know about you. And I think I've come to realize that in the moments where I get caught up in thinking about that there are things that I know about you that no one ever has and no one ever will again. And it makes me feel sad because, like, I know you're open. I know you're I know you're not waiting for me, and oh man, that just drives me crazy too. It just drives me wild. But I also know that there's a part of you that won't ever, I don't know, I guess just lay it out on the table for any of them the way you did for me. There's just such a certain seductiveness in the amount of emotional availability you had with me. Something that I know that I took for granted before, and something I've been thinking about a lot because, well, I mean, I know that there were times when you've told me that I didn't know you, that I didn't take the time to know you, that I didn't dress up the food on your plate the way that you liked, that I didn't think about it. And I mean, there were so many times in my mind that I'm thinking, like, I know that you like this and that you do that, and I pay attention to this and to that, and I know many things about you that you don't know about yourself, but then I did start to notice you made your point clear, very clear, that I didn't pay enough attention to you. I was too wrapped up into 3D things, and then it's kind of funny because I got to this point where I've been thinking so much about the idea of you with anyone new, anyone not me, and I realize how much I do know about you. I was just so tangled up in people's drama of the day, and the 3D things, and survival mode, and my own traumas I didn't want to face, the comfort of discomfort of what I've known, just to avoid the unknown that could be beautiful. And I guess there's something in that space where I came to realize there's a lot that I don't know about myself yet. There's a lot of parts of me that I've never even bothered to explore. And yet, at the same time, I know so much more about myself than I thought that I ever did. And a lot of that has been, what do you call it, reflected through you. Sometimes indirectly, sometimes accidentally, and quite often just very directly as you tell me that you are reflecting me or copying me. There's just something about you, feminine. I mean, I've always seen it, but I didn't think, I don't know, I guess it was just self-esteem stuff, huh? And now when I think about it, it feels like such a small and yet big thing. Such a new adventure to think about my self-esteem. To stop and see where low self-esteem and low vibes has kept me in a life where I'm sort of unalive. And to feel in every cell in my body that I want to be by your side. I want to feel alive like that every day. And I know you've been putting up boundaries and showing me your righteous indignation and standards and feelings and such. Putting yourself in positions where you would imagine that old versions of me would be too afraid to tread, but I tell you what, feminine, not even wild horses could keep me away from being by your side. It's just a few things that I need to work on first. Some things that I need to learn to let go of. Some ego I need to allow to die and fall away. And some things that I need to remember to tell myself and be responsible for within myself, just like you've been learning to do. Especially that releasing resentment, bitterness, and always thinking about the worst case scenarios. I think that's probably one of the most beautiful things that I've seen exemplified from you is faith. Always looking for and finding the best case scenario and following it even when no one else walks behind you to start. And the amazing power you have, whether you're swearing like a sailor or speaking like a saint, whether you're being that wounded healer or healed wounder, that somehow everybody sees your value and your worth, and they adjust themselves accordingly so they feel like they can feel that same thing within themselves. I think it's the self-acceptance, but I'm not really sure. All I know is that I realize how freeing it is not to be worried about distance or time or pirates or potatoes. How nice it is to feel like soon, soon I can feel what it feels like to feel like a masculine who is of the caliber that he can stand by your side, full of benevolent pride. That's what's in my mind most all of the time now. It's getting harder to hide it from those around me, especially as, well, I mean, you already knew before I did that karmics were on their way out. I look forward to the day that I can feel fully liberated and come to you without any mess behind me and a pocket full of gratitude and sunshine and openness. Definitely openness. I look forward to that feeling, feminine. Be ready.